tonight, the Cowboys came through for me, and I'm very excited about that. But I do got to say, the Dallas Cowboys are legit. I mean, I came out here the last 2 weeks, and in the preseason, I wasn't super pumped about the Cowboys. Honestly, I was going to pick the Cowboys to win the division all the way until like August. And then the whole thing with like Dak, and then the whole Hard Knocks tradition of teams not performing up to expectation, along with just like the bad vibes of the Cowboys, kind of got me off of the Cowboy bandwagon leading into the season. And I feel bad. Like, I feel like an idiot that I didn't pick the Cowboys to win the division, because so far, so good for them. Like, week 1, they took the Bucs to the limit. They played well in that game. You know, the Bucs gave the football up to the Cowboys, but the Cowboys played a good game in a hostile environment in week 1 versus the champs, and you got to give them credit for that. That is their only loss this year. Other than that, they beat the Chargers in a tightly contested game in a environment where they were on the road. First 2 games were on the road. They beat the Chargers in a tight one. Maybe you could say that, okay, the Chargers, phantom calls, all that stuff, whatever. They won the game, okay? And the Chargers just beat the Chiefs. So that's a legitimate team in LA too. So Dallas beat the Chargers, was tight with the Tampa Bay Bucs, and now just destroyed the Eagles, who in week 1 looked like a legitimate team, destroying the Atlanta Falcons, and in week 2 playing a good, competitive, tight game with the 49ers. So it's not like the Eagles are one of the worst teams in football. So to demolish a divisional opponent is always impressive, because to me, those are the teams that know you best. Those are the teams that no matter what should be in a tight game unless they're absolutely dreadful, right? And I don't think the Eagles are dreadful. I think they are a decent team. Now, they do have some significant injuries, but so do the Cowboys. And I came back here last week and I said, Dallas is the dark horse of the NFC, and that's what I believe right now. As we stand through 3 weeks, I think they're the 3rd best team in the NFC. I think they honestly are better than the teams in the NFC West besides the Rams, the Cardinals, the 49ers for sure. I think they're better than the Seahawks for sure. And I think it's really between them and the Packers, right, for that 3rd team. And I would give the edge to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys have a more complete offense. I think the Cowboys have been very well coached so far. And I think the Cowboys defense is balling right now. They have legitimate playmakers. I mean, Trevon Diggs right now has played like one of the best corners in football. I think you have to put him in the discussion for a top 10 status, Pro Bowl level, somewhere in that territory. Dallas has playmakers up front too, even with the injuries. They've been able to overcome it. And with the Cowboys in the past, a lot of times they haven't been able to overcome those deficiencies. They haven't been able to overcome their injuries. They haven't been able to overcome, a tight loss the week before. They kind of spiral out of control. A lot of madness ensues typically with Dallas, and it goes off the rails. But Dallas this year feels like a real team. They feel like a team that every week is going to be in the game, at the very least with the best teams, and they're going to beat the bad teams. And often with Dallas in the past, it felt like they weren't necessarily a lock. Like every week you would be like, is Dallas going to show up in this game, right? Are they going to put forth their best performance? They're underperforming a lot of the times with Dallas, and a lot of that was with Jason Garrett at the helm, right? And this year it just feels like you can rely on Dallas to beat the teams they should beat, and they're going to put forth a good game plan to be in the game versus the best teams. Maybe they'll win, maybe they'll lose, but you're not going to be shocked either way. So I like the Cowboys a lot. Dak Prescott's playing, like, in my opinion, an elite quarterback. And by elite, I mean a top 5 quarterback. The guys that I see in that conversation right now are Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, and that's, Dak's right alongside those guys right now. I think he's playing better than Patrick Mahomes. I think he's played better this year than Josh Allen. I think he's played better than Lamar. And I'd throw Derek Carr in there as well. Those are the best quarterbacks I've seen this year, and Dak is alongside those guys as well. Of course, they've got the weapons, but what's been impressive has been Dan Quinn's transformation of the defense. even without DeMarcus Lawrence, even without Keanu Neal tonight and a couple other guys, right? Their secondary's been more competitive. They've been more creative defensively, different formations, different blitz packages, different coverages, not just the same stale defense. Offensively, they're balanced, but they don't have to be, right? They can just go out there and sling the rock around the yard if they want, throw the ball everywhere. Obviously, they're without Michael Gallup, so that kind of hinders that game plan, but they can run it, they can pass it, and they got a great screen game. I just feel like all around, Dallas is a dangerous NFC team. And to you Cowboys fans who told me that, I apologize. I was wrong. Typically, I'm a big Cowboys guy, and I've just been burned by them so many consecutive years that I kind of got off the bandwagon. But I'm right back on the bandwagon with Dallas, and I'll be betting on them moving forward because I think Dallas is a legitimate team that I can trust moving forward. I'm looking forward to that game next week versus the Panthers. I think it's going to be very entertaining, very good. That's going to be a good test for the Cowboys to see where they're at in the NFC standings. But I really, really have to give praise to, across the board, Kellen Moore, Dan Quinn, even Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, Trevon Diggs in the defense, and I'm excited to see where Dallas goes this year. I think they're almost a lock to win their division, so really looking forward to the Cowboys for the rest of the year. But that's basically my Monday Night Football takeaways. And in terms of the Eagles, for you Eagles fans out there, just to give you a quick nugget here, I think we saw the limitations of the Eagles tonight, and in my preview of the week, I brought up that I don't think Dallas is necessarily a great matchup, even though they're divisional foes. The fact that Jalen Hurts' ability to throw the ball is inconsistent means that the Eagles can't really attack where the Cowboys are necessarily weakest, and that is where you're really going to lose those games. Dan Quinn and that style of defense, they're going to be good versus the run, which they were again tonight. I was a little confused by the usage of Miles Sanders tonight. Thought he should have been more involved. I've been a little bit disappointed with Devontae Smith this season so far. I thought he'd have a bigger impact earlier in the year. The offensive line, obviously, with some losses, showed up huge in this game. Without those guys, this team is not the same. They lack an identity offensively. Defensively, they just aren't on that elite level. They're just another defense. And, you can't really rely on a defense to, against an elite offense, win you a game like this. They got a touchdown. I mean, that should be good enough versus a team like Dallas and an offense like Dallas. To give you a touchdown early in the game, I think was significant, but they still weren't able to pull that off. I just don't know how good the Eagles are. They might be the second best team in this division. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But I think they're clearly a tier below Dallas. I think Dallas is at the top. The Eagles, the Giants, Washington, they're all fighting for second right now. And that's really what I feel. I like Jalen Hurts as both a pretty good, interesting quarterback prospect. I'm still learning about him. And I also really like him as a dude. He seems like a good leader. But I need to see more from him. I need to see more from this team moving forward. They had a big win in week 1, but they need to show me more from here on out. I'm still learning about that team. They're one of those teams I don't really know much about, to be honest. They didn't show me much tonight. So that's my thoughts on Monday Night Football. Let me know yours in the comment section. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know in the comments below. If you're watching this live, let me know in the comments live.